It is still early spring, a time for mulberry trees to burgeon. The silkworm mother has already prepared for her babies a nursery that is dry, clean, and well ventilated. In ancient times, farmers tucked the eggs in their clothes so the larvae would grow up healthy at a comfortable temperature. Nowadays, silkworm farms distribute eggs already incubated to individual farm household. Early in the morning, ant-like baby silkworms see daylight for the first time of their lives. In their dark hairy jackets, the little creatures seem at a loss as to what to do. The silkworm mother gently sweeps the newborns into a lot with a carefully chosen goose feather. She calls it gathering the newly hatched. Then she picks those green yellowish mulberry leaves, chops the young leaves into small pieces, and coaxes the silkworms to take their breakfast for the first time. For the silkworm mother, the days and nights ensued are bound to be filled with fatiguing work and loss of sleep. Under such great care, the larvae will fall into a deep sleep every 3 or 5 days. Motionless, they usually sleep for a day or two, after which the old skin is shed and a new one on. Silkworms age with every such dormancy, followed by ecdysis. As there are 4 dormancies throughout the span of their lives, silkworms are said to go through 5 ages. Aside from sleep, baby silkworms have developed unique dietary patterns that explain the astonishing rate at which they grow. Silkworms of 1 age and 2 ages start nibbling from the back of a mulberry leaf and finish, though slowly, with nothing left but the vein. Those of 3 or 4 ages need extra meals at night. As they can move more freely, they will start from the edge of leaves. 5-age-old silkworms gorge themselves with mulberry leaves, including more tender veins. Only by doing so can they grow miraculously bigger and fatter. There is finally a day when a rearing tray becomes overcrowded. The siblings have to make do with the floor. Their chests become transparent, and the silk gland inside is filled with fibrin from the amino acid in mulberry leaves. It's time to climb up the cocooning frames and spin silk. That means the end of the days when baby silkworms are under the meticulous care of their guardian. Having lost their amazing appetite, matured silkworms slowly mount the frames already prepared by the silkworm mother. Pacing back and forth on the way, they keep on nodding their small heads to their caretaker as if bidding farewell. The silkworm can continuously spin silk strands that stretch over 1,000 meters each from its tiny translucent body. Perhaps as a reward to the silkworm mother who has languished for the little thing. After mounting the frames, the cocooning silkworm has to exuviate once more and transform into a pupa. That is when it becomes as frail as a strand of silk. Out of self-protective instinct, the smart creature would close the cocoon to fend off its natural enemies. The cocoon is so quiet, as if lifeless. Yet in there, restless metamorphosis is underway. From a baby silkworm to a pupa with hairy feet, then a pair of compound eyes, then a pair of wings before the chest, and a moth feet between the wings. In a week, the pupa inside the cocoon will turn into a moth. It can secrete from its mouth a yellow liquid called lytic enzyme that will break a small hole in the solid shell of the cocoon. And from there, it finds the way to the bigger world. The compound eyes of a moth are useless. To find a soulmate, the female moth will secrete a hormone deadly attractive to the opposite sex. The male will follow the signal with its antennae all the way to the female. Then they are in love. Before long, new life is inside the body of the mother. A healthy one can produce as many as 500 eggs. Cocoons used for reeling must be intact. In other words, the moth is not allowed out. That is why the silkworm mother still has to wait patiently beside the cocoons so as to get them in once they are mature. The silence is broken by a harvesting mood. As the silkworm mother looks at the silver-white cocoons, a smile creeps onto her face. We know about the sun from the first ray of light in the east. The world knows about China by the feel of its silk produces. It would be unfair to say that feeding silkworms is but repetitive and strenuous work. Haven't you heard the most beautiful movement composed by the nation ever?